Hi everyone, my name is Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading, and I'm about to start another author spotlight vlog. The author that I'm going to be doing is Megan Goldin. I am really excited to try these thrillers. I've heard amazing things about Night Swim, which I will be reading in this video. It's not the first one I'm going to be doing, but it is one of the ones I plan on doing is Night Swim. I am going to be doing that as an audio because I do not have a physical copy of it, but it's not where I'm starting. I'm going to be starting with Stay Awake by Megan Goldin. Again, I don't have a physical copy. I'm going to be doing it as an audiobook on Scribd. This is the Pyramid Book Club's book for this month. The third book in this vlog I will be doing is The Escape Room by Megan Goldin. I do, as you can see, have a physical copy of this book, but again, it's not where I'm starting. I'm actually going to start with her most recent, which is Stay Awake. I do not have a physical copy. I'll be doing it as an audiobook on Scribd. This is the Pyramid Book Club book for this month, and I am very excited to read this thriller. Stay Awake follows Liv Reese. She wakes up in a taxi and has no idea why her life looks nothing like she remembers, as well as she is somehow connected to a murder. She wakes up and her arms are completely covered in writing, and one of the main things that she is told herself on her arm is that she needs to stay awake. And as soon as she falls asleep, she forgets the last 2 years of her life. So let's jump in and read Stay Awake. Again, I'm going to be doing it as an audiobook, and I'm excited to see if I like this first and most recent book by Megan Goldin. Hi everyone, I just took a shower, so excuse the wet hair, but I also just finished Stay Awake by Megan Goldin. I'm going to put it right here. This author spotlight is starting off excellent with a 5-star read. I loved this book. It starts off jumping right into what is going on with Liv. She is waking up. She can't remember anything. As soon as she falls asleep, she forgets everything that's happened for the last 2 years since she had a trauma happen in her life. I don't want to say what that trauma was because it would be probably a spoiler for the book. I loved the pacing of this book. And also, I loved how we were kind of, because when we were in the Liv chapters in her internal mindset, she would fall asleep and wake up and be confused. And I feel like we would be confused as well, being like, oh no, we have to start over with this day again because she's fallen asleep. And we kind of were taken on that journey of how she had been living with this amnesia that she has been dealing with due to this trauma. And I just found that so interesting. The investigation around the murder I found very interesting. And just the characters, the writing style. I mean, I could gush about this book. I could absolutely gush. It's definitely a 5-star for me the whole way through. Like I said, I find thrillers sometimes really slow paced until the twist. And that was not the case in this. We hit the ground running. Chapter 42, I got to chapter 42, which if you haven't read the book, you won't know what that is, but I'm going to put it in here anyway. I got to chapter 42, which is when we kind of find out how Liv has gotten to this point and why she is got this mantra of stay awake. I messaged Neva and was like, chapter 42 is the best. Like I'm just living for it. Like I'm living for this backstory, this reasoning. I was just enthralled with this book. So I think we can say that I liked it. I absolutely loved Stay Awake by Megan Goldin. It's one of the best thrillers I've read in a while. So the next book for this author spotlight is going to be The Night Swim by Megan Goldin. I'm going to put a picture of it here because, again, I don't own this one either. I'm going to be doing the audiobook. My library has the audiobook, but I think it's also on Scribd as well. The Night Swim by Megan Goldin, I've heard amazing things about from so many people. I know Sarah from Sarah's Shelf said it was like her best thriller of last year. So I'm going into this highly anticipating because I've heard great things and I loved Stay Awake. So I'm very excited to read this next one. I'm also excited because the synopsis sounds something that I would absolutely enjoy. It follows a true crime podcast, and the person who runs this podcast is Rachel. She is a household name, and she is starting season 3 of our podcast, and she wants it to be a huge success. There has been a rape in this tiny town where the Goldin boy swimmer has seemingly raped the police chief's granddaughter. And Rachel decides that she needs to kind of investigate this as part of her true crime podcast. The trial is just starting. However, all of a sudden, notes and letters start appearing to her on her car and in various places around the city. These letters are about, it seems like, Jenny Stills, who drowned a long time ago. But the letters are making it sound like it wasn't an accident and it was murder. So Rachel decides to investigate both of these crimes going on in this city, and I think somehow finds out that they may be connected. That is all that I know from the synopsis of The Night Swim, and I don't want to know anything else because I think I just am so excited to jump into this book and find out what happens. I'm going to, again, be doing this as audio. So the next time you see me, hopefully I will have finished The Night Swim and maybe even another 5 stars. That might be too much to expect, but I've heard such amazing things about this that I definitely am going into this with a 5-star prediction in mind. If this comes out with 2 or 3 5 stars for this author spotlight, I will be an auto buy for Megan Goldin. I'm going to go start The Night Swim because I am very excited. Hi everyone, I just finished The Night Swim by Megan Goldin, and this is now my second Megan Goldin book for this author spotlight vlog, and it is my second 5-star. This vlog is going very, very well. I loved this book. I'm gonna gush again because I absolutely loved this thriller. The audiobook is excellent. I highly, highly recommend. There are actual podcast episodes in the book sprinkled throughout. They just are so great listening audio. There are times where she's describing what you can hear while she's out in a field, and you can hear the sound effects with that. There are times where she, as a podcaster, Rachel, takes interviews with her cell phone, and you can hear those interviews just like if they were recorded from a cell phone. And it's a top tier audiobook in my opinion. Absolutely loved it. This story just intrigued me so much. As I said when I started this, it follows a suspected rape case in a small town, and then you find out that there was a drowning, 30 years before, and somehow Rachel starts to think they are connected. She is, again, a true crime podcaster and is following this case. The details that Rachel describes in the book, that Megan uses Rachel to describe, of what a rape victim has to go through in a trial to get a conviction, was just absolutely heartbreaking. The details that she went into, I actually teared up in a spot, and I don't expect that from a thriller. I don't expect thrillers to be heart-wrenching at times, and this one was, and this is such a good book. That's all I can say. And of course, there is a little bit of a whodunit to this book. It's not really a twist. It's more who is guilty, who caused this to happen. And when that is revealed, I was shocked. I did not see that coming at all. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. And I don't try to figure it out, but sometimes, you have an inkling. No, I had no idea with this one. I mean, I had ideas, but I was completely wrong. And when it was told to me, I clutched my pearls. So it was fantastic. 5 stars. 2 Megan Goldin books, 2 5 stars. They are very different too. The style of each is very different. Obviously the writing style is the same, but the style of the book with the podcast elements in this one and more of the amnesia trope in Stay Awake, they're very different books, and I loved them both. So there is still one more book for this vlog. One more Megan Goldin book that I will be reading. This one I am going to be doing physically. I do have a copy. It is The Escape Room by Megan Goldin. I have not heard as many good things about this as I had heard about The Night Swim. So I'm going into this with that in mind. However, I also have high expectations because I have given her last 2 books 5 stars. So we'll see where this stacks up. I know this is one of her first releases, so I'm going to keep that in mind as well. The Night Swim was her 2021 release and Stay Awake was her 2022 release, so they are fairly recent in her current backlist / current list of books. So authors evolve, authors change, so I am going to keep that in mind, but I still have really high hopes because hello, 2 5 stars. So this follows a group of co-workers who have been invited to participate in a escape room challenge, but when they show up at the challenge and get into the elevator, they can't get out. And they quickly realize that something is amiss and this is not what they thought it was, and it is extremely dangerous. And the tagline is, "Welcome to the escape room. Your simple goal is to get out alive." So that is all that I want to know about this because I kind of want to go into it a little bit blind just because I think thrillers are better that way. So that is all I'm going to read because I don't want to read too much of the synopsis because, like I said, thrillers sometimes better blind. I'm so excited to read this because 2 5 stars. Hi everyone. It has been a while since the last clip of this vlog. I filmed that I was going to read the last book for the Megan Goldin author spotlight. And that day, like literally 20 minutes after I said I was going to start this book, Barb from Barb's Bookland announced that she was doing an Escape the Room readathon in her Ko-fi group, and it looked so much fun. Like I was like, oh my gosh, that looks so much fun. I'm definitely going to be participating in that. What a fun readathon. And the first prompt in the readathon was to read the buddy read book. And the buddy read book that was chosen was Megan Goldin's Escape Room. So I had literally put it into my Goodreads, put a bookmark in the front of the book, like I was about to read it, and had to go, never mind. I'm not, because I'm going to do this readathon in November, and that's the first book that I need to read to escape the escape room. I'm vlogging this week for the escape room readathon, so that vlog will be coming out next week. But the first book that I had to do to escape the escape room was The Escape Room by Megan Goldin. How many times am I gonna say escape room in this vlog? So many. We're just gonna go with it. So I am currently in the first day of that readathon. So I'm currently on day 2 of that readathon. Yesterday I read The Escape Room to escape the escape room. And I'm about to start the next book for that readathon. You will see that vlog next week. I'm not showing the footage of my thoughts on this book for that vlog because I've already got this author spotlight going, and it's been such a fun author spotlight that this book is still going to be a part of it. So just know these vlogs are overlapping a bit, and we're just gonna go with it. That being said, I am done The Escape Room by Megan Goldin, and I am going to give this 4 stars. I did really like this. However, there was not as much escape room content as I would have liked, because that's what I wanted, was the escape room. That's what makes this book special, and there wasn't as much of it as I would have liked, which is why it's gonna get a 4 star for me. Other than that, it would have gotten a 5 probably. This follows a group of Wall Street finance people who all work at this same firm, Stanhope and Sons. We're gonna go with that. It's not on the back, so we're gonna go with it. Stanhope and Sons, I think it's definitely Stanhope. They all work here, things happen, and 3 of them get stuck in an elevator, and the only way to get out of the elevator is to kind of solve the escape room clues, and they're being asked is if they can get out alive. But the book, more often than not, focuses, it goes back and forth in 2 timelines. The elevator with the 3 people stuck in the elevator, 4 people. There's definitely 4 people stuck in the elevator. With the 4 people stuck in the elevator, and with the past timeline of kind of how someone would come to target them. And that's kind of what we follow, is
kind of the 2 years leading up to them being stuck in the elevator. But I wanted more of the escape room part of this book. They get stuck in the elevator at the beginning. It jumps right into that. And like I said, there is a past timeline, and the past timeline is probably 70% of this book. The chapters, it goes one chapter past timeline, one chapter current timeline, but the chapters in the past timeline are longer. So the book is definitely more in the past timeline than in the current one, which is fine, but I don't feel like the escape room part of this was actually utilized all that well. There were, when they first get stuck, they get a couple of clues, which are interesting to see them solving these clues, although they solve them very quickly and it isn't dwelled on very long. And then there are basically none. And I think we could have seen a lot more of that, and I would have been really interested in that, and it just wasn't there. So that was the only thing that I was disappointed about this book with. However, the writing style, again, I clearly love Megan Goldin's writing style, and I think this concept was really neat. That is the end of my Megan Goldin Spotlight vlog. 2 5 stars and a 4 star. I cannot complain. I did look, and Megan Goldin does have another book out that was released well before these 3 books, but I cannot find it anywhere. So I'm going to maybe see if Amazon has it, because I do think I would like to read it at some point. And definitely going to be an auto by author for any of her current works from here on out. So that is the end of this author spotlight. Let me know if you've read any of these books. I highly, obviously recommend all 3. I really enjoyed all 3, definitely the 2 that I gave 5 stars to. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.